Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy manifest. We're live. Happy Valentine's Day. There you go. We're live. I am about to introduce Julia Byrne to this beautiful masterclass that we have today. We want to respect your time. We're going to cut the fluff and make sure that you walk away with a whole ton of value. And Julia is also, we've got a couple of gifts to send out to you as well. So hopefully you've registered and you can see they will come out to you later today. If you haven't registered, in the text of this here, we've got people joining us. Hello. Oh my God, Samantha from Minnesota. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully this is good timing for you. So firstly, I just want to say, please come on in, say hello, and let us know where you're tuning in from. If you haven't authenticated with the StreamYard link, it is at the bottom of the text, and it means that we can see your name, which is really helpful when you're asking questions and things like that, because we want this to be really interactive. Okay, we want you creating your ultimate life, and I can't wait for you to hear Julia's story about how she actually manifested her man into her life. So she is really a master at this. So if you saw my videos earlier, I referenced Oprah, and she calls herself a powerful manifester. And she actually shares two main tips for her. She really recommends, meeting the vibration of what it is that you're calling in, so that you're not, temporarily jump into that vibration and then going back to a life of complaining. Really meet that vibration and then also detach from it. So that is actually a part of the manifesting matrix. That's two of the steps. But let me bring in the lady of the hour, Julia Byrne.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. How are you going?
Good, thank you. Thanks for allowing me to be here on such a special day, Valentine's Day.
Oh, magic. It couldn't have been better, I don't think. So we've got Debbie and Samantha. We've got a few other people online as well. Jump in and say hello. This is fantastic. Kath Brennan. Oh my God. Cool.
Morning, Kath.
All right. So do you want to start off with sharing your story, or do you want to save that for a little bit later in the class?
I'm happy to start off. It's Valentine's Day. Let's kick off. So most of my friends know this story because they were actually part of the process. And I just want to just sort of share with everyone that I have this belief that anyone can manifest anything that you want in your life. And this example that I can use with my beautiful man is one of those, because I wouldn't say that I jumped into heading into a relationship where I felt really confident about who I was. I had just separated from, a fairly long-term marriage. I'd had about 3 or 4 years on my own, and I felt ready to start in a new relationship, but I was still carrying some beliefs and some thought patterns that, I was too old, I was too this, I was too that, I was too the other, which is often this sort of group consciousness that we have that make us feel lesser than. And I certainly felt that way. But a friend and I were in the same position, and we thought, you know what, let's have a bit of fun with it. And I'll take you through the 8 steps of the manifestation process that will help you understand, because we really followed those steps. And so what we would do is we did write a list. It's not just about having a list, but I think it helps you.
Most girls have written a list of the partner they want, for sure.
Exactly.
I'm happy you've done that.
Yeah, so I did write a list. In fact, I showed it to my partner about a year after we'd been together, and he dropped the book. He was so surprised because he is actually the list. But anyway, a couple of key things. One, I did it with a friend of mine, and what we would do is we would ring each other, and I'd say, oh my God, how was your date last night with your beautiful man? And she'd go, yeah, it was amazing. We had such a great time together. And so we had a lot of fun in that creation together. And I would just tune into that feeling, and I would just have fun with it. Like I'd be driving in the car and I'd start saying, oh, he's so amazing. And I kept using the words, he's so emotionally intelligent, because that was really important to me. And so over a period of time, I started to get insights as to who I thought he was and what he looked like. And the name came forward, and his name was Paul in my manifestation, of course, and he ended up being Paul. So
oh my gosh,
it was really good fun. And as I say,
you didn't tell me that part.
yeah, no, honestly. And I also said I'd been hurt quite severely by an Australian previously, so I said non-Australian, and of course he's American. And I said tall, and my partner's 6'5" tall. So so yeah, it was just a lot of fun, and I think taking somebody on the journey with you can be quite a good experience. And we've been together for 10 years now. So, and a lot of those elements of the relationship that I'd really put out to the universe that I was looking for, he's matched and mirrored.
Amazing. Oh, Kath Brennan. That's a little while away. Absolutely. Hello, everybody who's joining us. That is so awesome. Welcome, welcome. Cool. So it is an amazing story, Samantha, isn't it? You're a manifesting marvel. Well, you know what? We all are. If we can take Julia's steps and apply this, we can all manifest exactly what we want. And I think we need to take it we need to take it off this pedestal that it's only the rich and the famous, or the gurus, or the monks, or, you know, all of this who can manifest. Like, we are all doing it already. We have whatever we have today, we have created. So thankfully, Julia is here to share her insights on that so that we can shift. If we don't have our ideal reality right now, what are some of the shifts that we can make to really turn that around and call in what it is that we're really wanting? So beautiful. All right. So what are some of the misconceptions in society about manifesting?
I think the thing, how many of you saw The Secret or What the Bleep Down the Rabbit Hole? I don't know if you saw that one too. That was really interesting.
No.
And that was it was quite a number of years ago now. It was right in the cycle that I was beginning to really get into my spiritual path and really live, I guess, more in authenticity, and really understand what sort of belief systems I had. And so The Secret came out, and I was really happy that it came out, because I felt like it gave people a much broader knowledge of understanding that whatever we think and whatever emotions we have, we create. So I think that was a really powerful awakening in global consciousness about that we are what we create. So I felt really pleased about that. But I think what happened was, so many, as you say, so many people got on the bandwagon of that and started saying, if you create a vision board, then, you know, within a couple of weeks you can manifest what you want. And I think there's certainly a place for a vision board, and there's certainly a place for a list. But it's those other aspects and those other elements, and the whole rounded piece really helps you raise your vibration. And when you've raised your vibration, you are in a state of manifestation. There are no idle thoughts, just to be really clear about that. There are no idle thoughts. Even when you believe you're not manifesting, you're actually in your subconscious, and your subconscious is then creating your reality. And we'll talk about that in a few moments, so that I can just share those aspects with you.
Yeah.
So shall I kick off and sort of talk about?
Yeah, please. Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we thought that we would just talk a little bit more about how we're programmed and how we're wired, a little bit more about energy, and then we're going to talk about the 8 steps. We're not going to go through every single one of them in detail today, but we'll touch on each one of them, and we've got a flyer that we'll send out afterwards with that information that you can capture. And then we'll do a meditation, which is all about consolidating with your higher self, and you can use that to really get yourself into the sense of vibration, so that you are aligned to what you want to manifest. And then Libby and I were thinking it would be great to run a workshop in a few weeks. And so at a few points when I talk today, I might just get you to pop a few thoughts down, or a few points down, so that in a couple of weeks, if you have time to come together, we can actually do a bit of a workshop and have a bit of fun with it. And we'll spend a few moments visioning perhaps what we want to create. We'll spend a few minutes connecting with our emotions around it. So a few times throughout today, I'll just get you to drop a few notes, and then we'll come together in a few, 2 or 3 weeks and actually do a workshop. So that's what we were going to cover today. So
that came about because we realized that a lot of people do. A lot of people might take the steps of today and be absolutely golden with it, and they can go and take that process and start manifesting. But I also know that some people want, when it's a new process especially, they want some guidance, and they want some help, or some like the community feel of going through a process together and sharing it together, because little self-doubts come up. Am I doing this right? Have I said this right? You want a Q&A back and forth. So that's when we thought, hang on, maybe just giving you the manifesting matrix might be great for some, but some of you might be left kind of dangling. So let's do a workshop down the track. We're just going to confirm some dates that fit, so that you're not just left to your own devices if you don't want to be. Okay. So,
okay, perfect.
All right.
I look forward to that. So hopefully you'll all join us. Yeah. So I thought maybe I'd start from when you're a baby, sort of just take it back to the original way that we formulate our ideas about who we are, and so on and so forth. So when you're a baby, basically you're born with a blank slate. And of course, there are genetic biases that you have, and all of your ancestors will have accumulated certain beliefs and certain patterns that do get spread through into your genetics. But as a general rule, you are a blank slate. And because of the way that we are set up from a survival mechanism perspective, we are genetically programmed to follow our environment around us. And many of you may have heard the term that we formulate our belief systems and who we are inherently up until we're the age of 7. So as you start to gain awareness when you're a child and a baby, you start to really sort of mirror and take on some of those aspects and influences that your parents perhaps have got, or your siblings have got. It may be that once you start school, nowadays bullying is such an awful issue. You may have an experience as well on top of that where you're bullied, and that formulates part of your experience. And so all of those aspects and those range of experiences and the beliefs that your parents have create who we are. And then we start to carry that aspect and those thoughts and those beliefs forward in our lives. And those are some of the aspects that can get caught in the way when you're manifesting. So I thought it was important to talk about that. So let's say, for example, you have a parent who is very worried about money constantly. And let's say that they're really concerned about money, and they constantly think, well, there's not enough money going around, we haven't got enough money for food on the table. It is likely that you may have incurred some genetic beliefs around that. And we won't go through all the different ways you can cancel beliefs today, but we'll cover that in the workshop. And so I think it's when you're manifesting, it's really important for you to have a keen awareness of who you are and what are some of those items that might be holding you back. And as a result, what are some of those things that you need to work on? So maybe just take 1 minute to think about maybe one of the beliefs that you've carried through from childhood that's perhaps been brought through by your parents, or you've had an experience, and maybe just take 1 moment to write down 1 or 2 beliefs that you're still carrying with you that perhaps you'd like to shift. And we won't cover that today, but then we can contribute that into our workshop. So
can I share a comment here? Samantha is just sharing her experience, and she says, I'm living proof of that. Oh, far out. Broken light. It says, sorry, living proof of that. I was harassed in school, told I wasn't beautiful, and have a lot of self-doubt nowadays. No doubt, right?
Mm.
You've been working on breaking the cycle. That is amazing. Wow, this is bright now.
Well done, Samantha. I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, bullying is such a major issue in our society, unfortunately. And I was reflecting that in Australia, a beautiful young child, I think she was only 12 or something like that, Dolly, her name was, she'd been harassed online for a number of years and actually ended up taking her own life. And just thinking about it now, it gives me goosebumps. I think, that is part of our responsibility to really deal with our own stuff so that we're not in a position where we're projecting some of those aspects. I'm really sorry that you had that experience, and I really commend you and honour you for working through breaking the cycle. And hopefully if you join us for the next stage, we can just give you some different techniques to support you in that process, because it's a really key aspect, because we are who we became as we were experiencing our childhood. And many of us have had some challenges in our childhood. And so it makes sense that you're carrying some of those beliefs and some of those thought patterns in. So thanks for sharing, Samantha. So,
yeah, and I just want to acknowledge too that because you've got the awareness of that, now you have taken your power back. So now you have choices that you can make. And that's what you're starting to do. And that is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I want to commend you for that.
Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about thoughts then, because it really all starts from thoughts. And I started off by saying there's no idle thoughts. So when you have a thought, what actually happens is a chemical reaction takes place, and then you create an emotion. Okay, so you have a thought, a chemical process takes place, you have an emotion, and then that creates a feeling or an emotion, and then that sends out a vibration. And that vibration, because we're an electromagnetic field, and just by when we use the term magnetic, it makes sense that we would then be attracting into our field something that is similar to that resonance, okay, or to that original thought pattern. And then we create experiences in our daily lives that mirror that. So how many times have you heard people say, that always happens to me, that always happens to me, I thought the universe is doing it to me. If you have those thought patterns, then that is a thought, it comes out as an emotion, it sends out to the universe, and so guess what, you send that back. So I'll give you a bit of a fun one. Actually, it ended up being really good, but it really taught me a lesson, because the more and more you manifest and the more you're in line with it, you have to be careful about what you do, because it can manifest very quickly. So my and I were driving in our very old car that's got, bits, it's been bashed up, it's got, stripes down the side where we've reversed into things. And I said to my partner one day, what we need is someone to reverse into this car so that we can just claim it on insurance, then we can buy a new car. So we both had a bit of a laugh, didn't think any more of it. A week later, we were driving in our car, and a lady was coming out, and it was on amber. She was moving really quickly, so we sped through the lights. I wasn't driving, but I know it. And my partner was going quite fast to try and get through the red light. She then thought, no, obviously I don't want to have a crash, slammed, and then we slammed right into the back of her. And because her car was much higher than us, we went right into her car and wrote the whole car off. Now, it was perfect because we weren't hurt and we did get some money off insurance, but it was a good reminder to me to be really careful what you manifest. So obviously we want to manifest
what you put out there.
Be careful what you put out there. So I thought that was saying. So so thank you for drawing that, Libby. So so thought becomes an emotion, becomes a vibration, and then obviously becomes our experience. So
can I just share? I have a close female to me, and the one thing that she always says is, it's not that always happens to me, but she's like, oh, I'm always that 5%, or I'm always that 1%. If you have a side effect to a medication, or your seat gets cancelled on a flight, or something. That is her mantra, I am the 5%. And, that's what she creates. And I keep saying to her, That's because you're asking for it. You're
Yeah.
literally saying, I am that. So give it to me. So it's just a little reminder.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. So we do have to watch what we think. And so your electromagnetic field, and I have talked about this in an earlier post that we did talking about crystals. If you think about that, energy is moving all the time. And so whatever you're putting out there, as I say, that is attracting like a magnet to you, those aspects and experiences. So we are energy all of the time, and in terms of energy, we're really comprised of 4 forms, and they are thoughts, which we've talked about, words. Sometimes we forget about the words that we say, but words are really powerful too. Just like you said there, it's not just the emotion, it's also the words. If you walk around all the time saying, you know, I'm the 5%, then guess what? You're going to be the 5%. So do be careful your words. We've already talked about emotions, and then actions are another thing. So if, for example, you walk around saying, I've got loads of money and I feel really abundant, but of course you don't, because you don't feel abundant. And in fact, you know, perhaps you constantly think that you haven't got any, and you're always, you know, thinking about it, and actually your actions show. You go out for a drink with people and you say, oh, I can't afford it tonight, then that also contributes to what you're sending out there. So you've kind of got to align your thoughts, your words, your emotions and your actions, and that may a bit too much, but as we go through the 8 steps, I think you'll see that it all flows. The more and more you practice it, the more and more it flows together. So we talked about beliefs a little bit earlier. So every time you have an emotion and a thought, over time, if you just keep thinking that same thought and that same emotion, then what happens is beliefs are created. And those beliefs are a little bit trickier to move out of your system. And I just wanted to make sure that that you were aware of what beliefs were. So if you think about it, we are all energy in every single moment. So every thought pattern creates our reality. We've talked about that. But let's look at that in the positive. We are limitless beings. We are able to create anything in our field at any one time. We are limitless beings. And I think sometimes we forget about that. And so try and also think about yourself as more than just yourself in this lifetime, that you're multidimensional, that you can create, you can co-create with the universe at any time, and really try and enjoy that aspect of that thought, because every vibrational pattern in the universe is speeding up at the moment. You've probably all felt the thing. Have any of you felt that sort of quickening, that you may think something, or you may have an emotion about something, or, you know, perhaps you think about a friend and then they ring you instantly? The vibration is moving very quickly.
This is Samantha, who's in the States. Obviously, it's winter and it's snowing there. So she said, I was praying for our kids to be safe today at school, and saying that maybe they shouldn't go to school because it isn't safe. Lo and behold, the school cancelled due to it being minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That was a fast one. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. So, I mean, and that's nice in a way, because they're home probably snuggled up with you, but it's funny how we send those thoughts out, and that's what happens. So I think the other thing that I'll just quickly touch on is universal laws. I don't know if any of you have heard any, but we are governed by universal laws. Again, I touched on that in another post that I talked about when we talked about the electromagnetic field of the Earth and Metatron's cube. But basically, out of Metatron's cube came these universal laws that we're all governed by. And one of those is the law of vibration. And the law of vibration is just that it moves in a circular fashion. So what goes around comes around. You've probably heard that saying. And so that, again, just exactly as you've just drawn, That's what happens. So it's just perhaps worth mentioning that everything is vibration. Even a table is vibrating, a chair is vibrating, but we are vibrating. So that's one of the laws of vibrations. There's another one called the law of action, for example. And so if you're manifesting, it's a bit like this example, if you want to win lotto, and so you visualizing you want to win lotto, but you never go out and actually buy a ticket. There's a lot action, right? So you've got to take action if you want to manifest. So it's sort of, that might be another subject that we want to talk about later, but there are some laws that are governing what we do. And so I think it's just worth pointing out that some of those play a sort of a field in what we create. And it's probably worth mentioning that the higher our vibrations are, we can actually transmute lower vibrations. So if you stay in a higher vibrational state, it actually moves out some of those old thought patterns that you were holding on to. And the more you maintain that level of high vibration, you actually start to shift. And you don't need to go back to some of those elements that perhaps you felt when you were bullied, or perhaps you felt when you were at school, or when you had a really dysfunctional parent, or one of your parents was an alcoholic. You don't need to go through some of that really difficult phase once you stay in that state of a higher vibration. So that's the good news.
Yes. And so for anybody who isn't familiar with this vibrational kind of, there's, I don't want to say a hierarchy, but there is levels of vibration. And, so some of the lower ones are the fear, doubt, worry, anxiety. And, around the middle, it kind of, some people get to hope, but hope isn't high up there because it still has an element of lack and, I don't have or am not worthy of. And then, the ultimate is love, but, joy, feeling abundant, feeling, what are some of the other high ones, just so that people recognize what is low and what is high, so that the higher ones is what we are trying to achieve and stay in and maintain there.
Just on that, Libby, then, so one of the highest vibrational statements you can make is I am. Probably we've heard, some people have heard that, I am. And so you can say, I am powerful, I am strong, I am very comfortable who I am beautiful. I once did this exercise when just before I was starting to manifest my man, because I wasn't feeling great about who I was. And so I created this statement, I am stupendous, which is ridiculous, right? Who says that? But it's a good exercise just to quickly share with you now. So I walked around saying, I am stupendous, I am stupendous, I am stupendous, I am stupendous. And as I started to do it, I did actually feel better about myself. And then my friend's husband came up to me one day, hadn't seen him for ages, and he goes, hi, Julia, you look really stupendous. And I thought I was so funny because I knew it had come out from my thought pattern, and he'd just picked up on that vibration and sent it back to me. So again, another quick example, you are what you send out there. And that really helped me as I moved on my manifesting journey, because I thought, that's what happens. So anyway, maybe try a few fun things like that and see what comes back to you.
That's brilliant. It bounced straight back to you.
Yeah, straight back. I mean, maybe about a week later, but it was fun. So I don't want to keep you for too long. Let me just go into the 8 steps and we'll touch on those, and then we'll do a quick meditation at the end. So the first one is, and we sort of talked about it, Libby, is staying on top of your negative thoughts. So I talk to my clients about this all the time, and that is, your mind does not control you. You control your mind. You just have to be disciplined. And so it's really important that you stay on top of your negative thoughts. And when we go through our workshop, we'll give you a few examples of how you can move through those negative thoughts quite quickly. The second one is keeping up with your spiritual daily practices. And I know, Libby, yourself and Jodie have been running those intuition exercises where you connect with yourself daily. Aspects like that are really powerful. You choose what your daily practices are, but again, that just keeps your vibration and raising your vibration, which is what we want you to do, is to stay in that vibrational state of where you're aligned to your higher self. We talked about cancelling beliefs or patterns. We'll talk about that when we do the workshop, but that's really important. And then creating a vision of what you want to manifest, and then go into the feeling or emotion of what you want to manifest. That's the first thing, the first part of that. The second part is imagine it is in your field right now. Because if you walk around saying, I want a new car, I want a new car, I want a new car, guess what? The universe goes, you're in the vibration of want. We'll just keep giving that to you because that's what you're sending us. So just be mindful of that. You've got to bring it into your field right now. And then
I love my new car.
I love my new car. Oh my God, I can't believe it's red. I love red. It's so cool. When I'm driving it, I feel really good. All of those sorts of aspects. The next one is write out your thoughts in terms of an affirmation that is in alignment with your vision that you create. Okay, and obviously then that really helps ground that manifestation into reality, because sound is very important in terms of a quickening. So if you have the vision and then you talk about the sound of it, then that brings you into your field of vibration much quicker. The next one is, now this is an oxymoron, I know, so bear with me, non-attachment. It's hard, right? Because you really, and that's why you're bringing it into your field. But just remember, what I did when I was manifesting my beautiful partner is I would manifest, I'd have fun with it, and then I'd let it go. And I'd think, you know what? I'm happy in my life. I'm enjoying my life. If it doesn't happen, it will happen. If not in this lifetime, maybe another lifetime. And once I got to a point of non-attachment, that's when it felt, that's actually when my partner came in. So just practice that. And again, if in the workshop, we'll give you some more examples of that. And then number 7, we sort of touched on, creating a vision board or something visual that you can relate to on a regular basis. And then
particularly if you are a visual person, some people love to see or hear or feel something. If you're a visual person, if you catch yourself in your language, if you're saying, oh yeah, I see what you mean, let me show you this, then you're probably naturally visual. A vision board is going to be very potent for you. But you can even translate that to something audio, and that will do the same thing. You could play it, after your meditation, perhaps every single day, and you could play your own audio message with the same intentions of a vision board. So match your modality. More about that later.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. So we also talked about programming your crystals. So I've got my beautiful crystal with me today. Livy and I were just looking at our crystals before we got on live. So I don't know if you brought your crystals with you today.
If you haven't, because I did put a message out there, but run and grab one now, because Julia is going to share an amazing process with us. So these crystals can actually help us with the whole process of what we're calling it. Actually, can you describe what you did with your crystal for the employment?
Yes, yeah, I was sharing this with Libby. I hope no one from my old work is watching. No, it's fine. It is what it is. So I was looking to make a move into working with clients from a healing perspective, and I was really excited about that and really wanted that to manifest in my life. And I've been working in corporate for quite some time, and I know many people want to make the move out of corporate. It can be quite difficult because you're quite programmed. And I loved my company, and I loved my role, but I really wanted to support more people in the universe, and so I was very focused on that. And so what I did was I actually programmed some crystals, and I would have them on my desk at work, and every time I thought about it, I would actually just visualize me having redundancy, and I would actually really visualize it and just say if it's for the greater good. And that would just help me stay focused around that. I would use it as a way for me to really hold that intention, and then I would release it up to the universe and say whatever happens will happen. And actually a few of my colleagues asked if I would program their crystals. again, we'd have a bit of a laugh about it. And actually, yes, I was very lucky. I did get redundancy, and it's meant that I can be doing the amazing work that I'm doing today. So I'm very grateful. So you can actually program your crystals for anything, but it does need to be in the highest of good. So obviously, if you were really angry with your ex-partner, you definitely couldn't program a crystal. Well, you could, but I wouldn't recommend it. Crystals are used in the essence of oneness, and they are certainly not used as a weapon to send energy out, because they can magnify energy. But hopefully you've all got your crystals in front of you, and I'll just take you through a quick process. So some of you may have aurosoma or sprays. Kath, yes. Yeah, there are, I meant to tell you about this the other day. I'm sorry, I forgot. There are crystals that are good for manifestation. Anything gold is kind of good. Citrin's good. Is really good. And yep, citrin, obviously what Libby's holding up. I haven't heard of Vandanite, actually. You'll have to tell me more about that. It doesn't actually matter, because you can program your crystal for anything that you want, but there are crystals that are really good for manifestation, and they have certain structures inside of them. And so, again, maybe that's something that I'll bring to the workshop and just talk you through a good couple of crystals that you can bring. But really, you don't need any particular type. Although I would avoid perhaps some of the grounding crystal, because they're like hematite or pyrite, because they're more for grounding. But let's say I wanted to use this crystal. You can either use thank you. You can either use something like an aurosoma, or if you don't have any sprays or aurosoma or anything like that, you can just hold the crystal in your hands and actually visualize either golden light or ultraviolet light, and actually imagine that just entering into your crystal and completely clearing it. Okay, so that's how you clear a crystal. So you want to do that first. So just do that for a couple of seconds, either gold or ultraviolet. Okay. Beautiful. So once you've done that, the next thing that you want to do is to just ensure that you are grounded and that you're connected to source, and then have the crystal in front of you. I always speak to the crystal and just say how wonderful it is to be connected with the crystal, how much I love it, and how much I really am so grateful that it's on its journey with me, and just really spend a few moments just connecting with the crystal and just really honoring it. And that's really helpful for you to get that immense connection with the crystal as well.
I just found a new rainbow in here that I hadn't seen before.
There you go. So that, then the next thing for you to do is to hold the crystal in front of your heart, and to imagine a rainbow just coming from your heart to the crystal's heart. And you just send that rainbow bridge. It's like a rainbow bridge, and you just connect with that crystal as you're connecting with the rainbow bridge. And at that point, if you wanted to, you could state the intention that you are looking to manifest. So you might want to call in help from your guides to really increase that connection, that rainbow bridge connection with your crystal. And you may feel like you want to just connect with the crystal, with the rainbow bridge, 5 or 6 times, as many times as you want to do, so that you feel that deep connection. And you may, sorry, Libby.
I feel like it's pulling me forward. I had this real pull.
And you often get insights from the crystals, and in fact, they can talk to you. So you may get some messages from the crystals. So once you've done that, you've set up that rainbow bridge. Then what you do is you pull that crystal up in like a prayer position, up to your third eye, and then again, just spend a few moments really programming that crystal as to what it is that you want with intention. But of course, I use the words want then. What you want to do is say, I'm manifesting X into my field. Please support me in bringing that into my field. And then just sort of sit with that for a while and visualize the crystal having the same desire as you to bring that into your field. And that's how you program.
Amazing.
And so you have to clear that before you work with the crystal. So don't start flicking this crystal and saying, I want something else. You can just deprogram it by using a similar process as I just showed you. But once it's programmed for that function. So don't try not to confuse the crystal, because it'll be mixed messages. Okay?
Yes.
Good.
And we should point out that you programmed crystals for your colleagues who were wanting redundancies as well.
They also got the result. In fact, it was
powerful.
Fun, yeah. And of course, I just supported them in that process. They were the ones that sent out the attention. So we had a bit of a chat about what they could do. And so obviously it was divine timing for them. They sent out the right messages. I just supported them on programming them. But yeah.
Beautiful.
So any questions? And if not, we'll just head off into a bit of a meditation just to end the session today.
That would be beautiful. Samantha just said that she was called to her citrine, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Good.
Oh, do you put dates with manifestations? That's a good question.
Yeah, I never have, to be honest, because I feel like if you do, then the attachment piece is there. So
Exactly.
the idea, of course, is to let the attachment go so you don't feel attached to when it will happen. But I have noticed that the more you stay in that vibration, the more you feel it coming closer. No, I think dates might put pressure on you, Samantha, and you might feel like you're under pressure to achieve it. And then you get into that sort of gripping stage. And if you're in that gripping stage, you're not in non-attachment. So I tend to think, I just keep throwing it up to the guides and saying, when you think it's right for me. You know how sometimes you think it's right for you, but then you look back and you think, oh, thank goodness I didn't manifest that then, because I wasn't ready. So I think it's good to sort of say divine timing. I have been known to stamp my foot down with the universe and go, I'm getting frustrated now. So you can do that. You can really sort of stamp your foot down and just go, no, I'm ready for this, and really communicate with your higher self around it. But I wouldn't put dates around it.
Yeah, good point.
Makes sense. All right, good. So let's go into a meditation then. So this is just about really connecting with your higher self. So if I can just ask you all to just get comfortable and just close your eyes, maybe give yourself a little bit of a stretch, put your feet firmly on the ground, and just take a few deep breaths. So maybe just deep breath in and just let it all release. And then just another deep breath in and all release. So I just want you to relax and just imagine that you are traveling down to your feet. And as you imagine your feet, you imagine these tree roots just coming out of the bottom of your feet. And as you imagine those roots, just see those roots just moving down into the earth, down into the Mother Earth. And you may even hear them crackling as they come through some of the rock, as they just move all the way down into the center of the earth, where the goddess Gaia crystal is. Just imagine, you can imagine soil and the color of the soil. Maybe it's red. Maybe it's the color of Uluru if you're in Australia. Maybe it's somewhere else that's local to your soil. But just imagine that deep connection to Mother Earth. And just ask Mother Earth, or your soul or any of your guides to just share any wisdom or insights that you may need to know about at this time. This is a very sacred time, and there may be wisdom or knowledge that is looking to be shared from your team of guides or the earth. Just stay open to that wisdom and just take a few deep breaths. You may feel your feet tingling with that amazing connection that you've instigated with Mother Earth. And as your energy starts to feel really consolidated in the earth, I just want you to slowly move your energy up to your crown chakra. And just in case you don't know where that is, that's just at the top of your head, in the center. I just want you to become aware all of a sudden of this beautiful golden light coming down from the universe, coming down through the top of your head. And as you see or feel that golden light, you almost see it as liquid gold. And that liquid gold is giving you a sense of calmness. It's giving you a sense of connection. And just as you're taking a few deep breaths, just start to feel that golden light intensifying and washing through your body. You may feel some pains or you may feel some aches. And you just be open to any parts of your body that really feel they need this golden energy. I'm just going to give you a few moments just to sit with this golden energy, which sometimes people say is the Christ consciousness, connection with the creator of all that is, God, Goddess, our presence, our higher selves. And just imagine that golden light flowing through to any of those areas that perhaps need that extra vibration. And if any thoughts come up, just imagine them washing away as this golden vibration just moves through your body. Any pictures, any beliefs that are coming up that we no longer need, just see them being washed away with this incredible energy. There's no story to this, just washing away. You're the observer. And just imagine that golden energy just washing over you. And when you're ready, just imagine this energy continuing down into your body and through your legs and through your feet and into beautiful Mother Earth. And as we send that energy down into Mother Earth, we honor Mother Earth for everything she is doing. She's working so hard to support us right now. And so we give her that golden energy and we become aware of her also providing us with this beautiful replenishing energy that's coming up from the earth, coming back up to greet us as we greeted her, coming up through your feet, through your legs, into your pelvis, up through your spine, and into your shoulders, and then up through your head and back out through the universe. And just as you see that golden energy going out from the universe, just want you to take a few deep breaths here. And as you're breathing, I just want you to go to the center of your heart, where your heart is. And take a deep breath in and just connect to your beautiful heart. And just start to become aware of you becoming more deeply connected to the beauty within. Each one of us has so much beauty and wonder. We are divine souls. And it's just the opportunity now for you to connect with that beauty. And as you're connecting to that beauty within your heart, all of a sudden you see a rose quartz crystal become manifested in front of you. This crystal is actually quite a big crystal, and as you look at it more intently, you can see that a doorway is starting to appear. And as the doorway starts to appear, you step inside and you see a bed in front of you in the middle of the crystal, and you walk over to this bed and you lie down on it and you feel the beautiful energy of the quartz crystal flowing into you. And just take a few moments to just breathe in that beautiful love quartz energy flowing into every cell of your being, replenishing your whole self with this loving energy. Imagine this beautiful pink light, the brightest pink light that you can imagine, and the love from the rose quartz crystal. And just imagine that light going into your heart and totally accepting who you are in this moment right now. And imagine this pink light from this crystal emanating through to your whole being. You can see the streams of light moving outside of your body all into your aura. It's so overwhelming. The pink light is so overwhelming. And then as you feel totally filled up with this beautiful loving energy, in front of you, you see a spiral staircase. And so you take yourself up from this comfortable bed, knowing that you've brought in all the light that you need. And you know you can go back to this space anytime you want. This is your bed. This is your space for you to connect with your heart. You can come back here anytime you want. And you start climbing up this spiral staircase. And as you walk up, you start to ascend. And you go round and round and up and up and round, continuing up the staircase until you get to the top. As you get to the top, there is a vision of a higher aspect of yourself, your higher self. And she or he is there in all its glory. What do you see? Your higher self is waiting there for you. And she wants to connect with you, or he wants to connect with you. And so ask in the moment, higher self, please merge with me. Please allow us to be in complete unison together. And as you do that, you can immerse yourself in this divine brilliance. And you probably feel your whole body tingling. The body is vibrating with the essence of your higher self. She or he wants to be with you, and you can call your higher self in this manner every single day. And you ask to be grounded with your higher self for as long as possible. But just take a few deep breaths in and open yourself up to this beautiful alignment with your higher self. You are this deep love. You are this peace. This is who you are in your whole glory and brilliance. And just ask your higher self what he or she would like to share with you. And just stay connected to this higher self and be open to any information that may be received. I'm just going to give you a few moments just to stay connected in this space. Just be open to any healing, any messages you may receive. Maybe your higher self has a name that she or he would like to share. Maybe there's some areas of fear or worry or imbalances or aspects that you don't appreciate yourself or you get frustrated about within yourself. But just take a few moments just to breathe in this higher self energy and perhaps breathe into those areas that are frustrating you and be open to any awareness that comes to you. So just sit in that awareness, and again, I'll just give you a few moments just to see if there's any awareness, and just breathe into those areas of frustration or pain or fear. And just know that you are this love. You are your higher self. You can say, I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. And just take a few moments to thank your higher self and really appreciate the opportunity to connect, and just let her or him know that you'll be coming back to this place regularly, and that you now state that you want to be just immersed with your higher self as much as possible. And when you're ready, just start to come back into your body. Start walking down the staircase if you'd like. Start coming back into your heart center. Just look at your heart center. Remember this picture. You can come back to this picture anytime, where the rose quartz is, where the bed is. And just take a few more deep breaths. And just reconnect into your body. Just imagine just this vibration just moving through all aspects of your legs, all aspects of your torso. It's going all the way down your feet into the earth, and then all the way up through your torso and into the shoulders, activating all the chakras that you have in your body. Just up into your head and out through your head into the universe, and just start to come round, come back into the space that you're in. Just take a few deep breaths and just take your time. to come back round. And maybe if you've got a pen and paper, you might want to jot down some thoughts or some knowledge or wisdom that your higher self or your guides or any part of you shared today. So if you'd like to take down a few notes, then please do so before we finish up today. And then if anyone wants to share about what they experienced, I'd love to hear.
Oh my goodness, that
How are you
was
feeling?
the most amazing thing I've ever done.
Oh,
That
good.
was amazing. I was so hot when connecting with the higher self. I was just so hot. I'm sweating.
Yeah, it's amazing how much energy comes through when you do that. And you can do that anytime. Like, you know, it's, yeah. I mean, I do an exercise like that every day. So,
that was the message that I got. It was basically showing me, you know, the team and saying, you know, like, we've got you. It's all good. We've got you. We're here for you. Connect with us daily. So this beautiful meditation is a gift for all of you guys. I'm going to be sending it out later today. So you'll be able to do this every day with Julia's beautiful guidance. And when you said just thank your higher self, I had palpitations and flutters and all of this, this stuff going on in my chest. So it was like, whoa, yeah, amazing.
It's amazing. Well done. And that's why when you're in that space, I just wanted to remind you, you can go back there every day, because that's your space, that's your sacred space. And that helps you keep your vibration at a level where you can transmute some of those negative thought patterns that come up. So yeah, if anybody else wants to share anything, we'd love to hear. If not, if you wanted to get on and post afterwards, thank you, Beth. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. If you want to give us any feedback, if there's anything else you'd like to incorporate as part of the workshop that's perhaps bugging you, please let us know. We want to do more of these workshops to support you. So yeah, feedback is really, really welcome. And we will be sending out a flyer that Libby created with the 8 steps. So just, you know, go off and do it at your own leisure. But if you want to be part of the workshop, then obviously you can log on and we'll let you know. I didn't get any messages when we brought the energy from the feet. My body was slightly vibrating where it was. Then when they met, golden light swirled and started to infuse into my real heart. My guides always show a T.
Sorry, a teal. Teal heart.
A teal heart. Okay. Oh, how beautiful. So that also exercise also helps you connect with your guides, as you've just experienced. So so cool. So thank you so much for allowing me to be part of today's session. So wonderful to be there supporting you. And thank you. Thanks for joining us, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for sharing your experience with us as well. We love doing these sessions, and our mission here, Holistic Empowerment Collective, is to help you guys on your journey so that you can create this ideal life, so that you can understand yourself at the soul level even more. And it's experts like Julia coming and sharing these insights that is just such a gift. And I want to say thank you so much, Julia. Absolutely amazing.
My pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
And, you know, this is just the beginning. We've got a lot to share with you this year. If you guys, some of you are new, so if you didn't realize, we put out a book earlier this year, and it was Empowering You in 2020. It was looking at a lot of the energy of the year, and that is from, I think, 6 or 7 of our experts from the HEC. And we're going to be bringing those books out regularly. We're going to be bringing workshops, programs, memberships, lots going on. So the more that you guys can interact with us, let us know what you want and need, so that we can make sure we're meeting your needs, and share this with other people who you know are on this journey, and maybe they're struggling, or maybe they don't have that place where they can go to get some of their questions answered. That's exactly what we're here for. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Sorry, Libby, I was going to say, if any of you have any specific questions you want to ask, then yeah, please reach out. But thank you for your time. Program your crystals, and yeah, look forward to chatting to you again. And if any of you give this 8-step plan a go, then you can share with us what's happened between now and when we get together again. So yeah.
Yes.
Happy Valentine's Day,
Absolutely.
everyone. Happy
I
creating.
know. That's what was going through my head. What a beautiful Valentine's Day gift to like start with self-love. Oh, amazing. Beth is buzzing. These guys are communicating. You're amazing too, Kath. But Jules is absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Actually, interesting. When I asked my higher self what her name was, it was Aurora. I thought, wow, is that? So stay with it. Mine didn't come initially, but yeah, just keep connecting with your higher self every day, or not every day. I mean, as much as you can, and then you'll. I want to be able to get more messages from my guides on a daily basis. That's how you do it, Samantha. Just stay really close. Keep connecting. When you're connecting, you're in that space, and your vibration is high, so you're more aligned, so you can get those messages coming through. Everybody can do it. It's just practice. It's like to practice your muscle, like you go and exercise and you practice your exercise muscle. Same thing. That's all it is.
And one little explanation is my understanding, because they are vibrating so high, it is a lot of effort for them to kind of get messages here and manipulate our environment to get us a message. So the more that we can raise our vibration to meet them, the communication lines are so much clearer. It's like the bandwidth is wider. When we're in a lower vibration, it's very hard for them to manipulate our environment for us to receive the message. So doing that every day. What a beautiful way to start the day, for sure. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, there you go. Chronic post-concussion syndrome. Oh, right. Yes, you would.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Take care, everyone. Have an absolutely fantastic day. See you again soon. Bye.
Thanks so much, Jules. Bye.
Bye.